Hey everyone, Julia from Sunday Sounds here. In this video, we're going to take a look at our song-specific patch designed in the style of the song you see on the screen. I'm going to demonstrate this song patch in its original key and at its original tempo. You can change the key you play or hear the song patch in by using Easy Transpose, and you can change the tempo as well. Details on how to adjust both the key and the tempo are included in your download. For this video, I'll be demonstrating the MainStage version of this song-specific patch. If you purchase the Ableton Live version, you'll be able to use this video to follow along just the same, seeing as the hand positions, song sections, layer ranges, and sound of the patch are the same. In MainStage, you'll use your mod wheel to move through the various song sections. In Ableton, you'll use the macro knob labeled Song Section. Be sure to check out the full demo video for this song patch to see all the parts and sections in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. This song patch has piano, pads, organ, bass, synth, and strings all triggered in the left hand range, which stretches from here up to here. Then there is a piano sound from this note all the way up the rest of the keys. There is also a soft synth sound triggered from this note all the way up the rest of the keys as well. Now, I do want to mention that there are two notes that you can play that aren't in the original key of this song. Those trigger some chords that are passing chords. Those chords can be triggered on this note and this note. I'll be sure to talk about those chords later in the tutorial. You'll start the song with the song section control all the way down for your intro, down verse, turnaround, down chorus, down refrain, and the outro. At 1/3 is the regular chorus, the medium turnaround, medium verse, medium bridge, and refrain. At 2/3 is the medium chorus, the big bridge, and refrain. And all the way up is just the vamp. And remember that whether you're in MainStage or Ableton Live, these positions are the same. For the intro, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in your left hand, and your right hand will play a piano lead. Here's what the lead sounds like. So then here's what it looks like with both hands. For the second half of the intro, you'll play the same thing in the right hand, but the left hand has slightly different chords. Here's the second line. Now, this part is meant to be played really soft, but you still want that right hand lead line to pop out a bit more than the left hand. So I recommend playing your left hand octaves nice and soft, and then really getting artistic with the way that you play the lead line in the right hand. I do also want to mention that in the demo video, you may see me playing that lower ascending line like this. So occasionally I like to add in this note leading into that part. So that would look like this. I think that adding that pickup note allows you to sound a little bit more like the recording and flows into the second half of the lead line really well. So be sure to try that if you want to, but if you want to just play the notes up here, that's perfectly fine as well. Now, this lead line does come back lots of times throughout the song, so be sure to practice it a lot so you get really comfortable with playing this part. For the down verse, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and simple chords in the right hand. Here's how I like to voice the chords for this section. Now, I do also like to play a couple of melody lines in my right hand. If you listen to the original recording, the pianist does this as well. So I'll show you real quick where I like to follow the melody line. The first 4 chords you'll play like normal. Then it's during this next line that I like to play the melody line. So check it out. So this is the melody line. So again, one more time in context. So then the second half of this verse, I like to add in another melody line. So I'll just play the second half all the way through so you can see it. So if you noticed, I add in a short ascending line on the minor chord. And then move into the lead line like normal. There is also a short piano riff at the very end of this verse, and that right hand riff looks like this. And that's while you're playing this note in the left hand. So here's that last line one more time. For the medium verse, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords / piano riff in the right hand. You'll also play the same melody line that we played in the first verse. So here I'll just play through this medium verse all the way through so you can see what I'm talking about. So during the first part of this verse, instead of just playing the chords, I play a short melody line like this. So if you'll notice, instead of playing full octaves in my left hand, I'm just switching that bottom note to the 4 rather than switching both because I am playing that riff in this range. So if you try to jump your thumb up to that octave, it'll get a little bit entangled and difficult to play. So that's why I do that in the lowest octave. So just watch for those parts in the demo. For the chorus, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and the piano lead line in the right hand. Now this lead line is very similar to the intro, but it is slightly different at the very end. The chords are also slightly different. So I'll start with the first line, which is the same as the intro. Then for the second line, it looks like this. So I'll break down just the right hand on that second line. Then the second half is the same. And then again, the left hand chords are slightly different. Instead of holding on the 1, you start on the minor 6 and go to the 5 and the 4. So here's that second line one more time. Then we're going to repeat it all again. And I'm going to stop before the very last line of this chorus to show you how it's slightly different. Now for the very last line of the chorus, you'll start on the minor 6, just like expected, but your right hand lead line is going to start before it did previously. During the first part of the chorus, you'll play the first note of the lead line as you're playing the first chord in the left hand, like this. But during this last line, you're going to start before you play your left hand. You do this so that you can match the melody line and the way that the words match up with the chords. So here's the last line. Now it is also slightly different because you do have a minor 2 chord in there before you go to the 1, and your right hand lead line matches that as well. So I'm going to play one more time the last half of the chorus. I do also want to mention that if you don't want to play that last part of the lead line in octaves, you don't have to. I like to do it because I like to trigger the lower piano notes as well as the higher piano notes and that synth bell sound that is up high. But if you just want to play one note, I would recommend playing it up high so that it sticks out a little more in the mix. The next time you play the chorus, you'll have the song section control at 2/3, and this is going to be a double chorus, so it's going to feel really long. You're going to play all the way through the chorus 2 times total. You can watch for that part in the demo. Now the chorus does come back again later in the song. When the chorus comes back, you'll bring the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and that same lead line in the right hand. So you're going to play it essentially the same way, just with a bit more delicate of a touch. Then at the very end of the song, you're going to play the chorus tag, followed by the chorus, and an outro, which is the last line repeated multiple times. So let's start this with the tag. For this whole section, you're going to have the song section control all the way down. For the tag, I like to jump my hands up high to play my chords in this range to match what the original recording is doing. So this is how I like to play this part. Then for the second line, I like to jump down one more octave. Now keep in mind, as you're playing your notes in this range, these are all just one-to-one triggered notes, right? So as you play each note, you're not triggering any extra sounds or chords. Once you get down into this lowest octave though, you have to be careful to only play the note of the root of the chord that you're trying to play. So that's why I inverted my left hand chords to stay above this middle C, or on the C and above. So I'll show you the tag one more time, those two lines. Keep in mind you can voice these chords in different ways if you'd like, or if you just want to play the octaves in the left hand and play your chords up high, you can do that too. So after this tag, you move back into the chorus where you play that piano lead line and the same chords. Now at the very end of this chorus, you're going to hold on the minor 2. And in the original recording, this is the part of the song where they stop following a click and they really just follow the way that the song feels, and they follow the worship leader. So if your band decides to do it that way, that's great. You may want to add a little bit more space between each line, or you may want to stick to a click and just hold out for 1 or 2 measures between each line. Just be sure to talk to your worship leader about that before you try to play this song. So for the outro of the song, you're going to repeat that last line of the chorus 4 more times. And for this, I like to just do the same riff in my right hand where I follow the melody line, and then just play simple octaves in the left hand. Then during the last 2 lines of this outro, I like to make it a little bit bigger. So I might play that line in octaves in my right hand. And then I like to bring the song section control up a bit, because when it's at about 1/3, you hear some strings and pads and other sounds. Now I do want to caution you against going above 1/3, because then you get into the string arp sound that is linked to the tempo. So if you're doing this part separate from a click, you really don't want to get up into that arp range, otherwise you'll have some issues with timing. So here's what it sounds like if I were to increase the song section control. Then at the very end of this, you'll end on your 1 chord. Again, just watch for that part in the demo. For the bridge, you'll start with the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and a piano riff in the right hand. Here's what the riff sounds like. Now for this whole bridge, your left hand is going to be staying on the 1 chord, and your right hand is pretty much just going to be playing those alternating notes in this range beside those little lead line notes up high. So here it is with both hands. So you'll play through that progression 2 times total. Then your left hand is going to change chords for this next section. So here's what that looks like. And again, you'll play that progression 2 times total. Now keep in mind, I am playing this slower than tempo, so I will speed it up for the next section. This next section is at 2/3 on the song section control, so you'll hear that ARP come in. So you'll play octaves in the left hand, and your right hand is going to adjust the riff downward a bit. So instead of just playing these notes alternating, I'm going to play these notes. So then for each chord, it changes. So for that first chord, and then the next chord, now, if this is a lot for you to focus on during this part, I don't recommend that you do this next part that I'm going to talk about, which is playing that lead line up high again. But I like to play it in octaves because it keeps my chord shape or my hand wide for those chords that I'm playing, but then it also allows me to play that lead line really big. So here's what the right hand looks like with this. So then here it is with both hands. So then for this big bridge, you'll just play through that progression 2 times total. For the vamp section, you'll have the song section control all the way up. You'll play octaves in your left hand, and your right hand is going to play chords. Here's how I like to voice my chords for this section. Then for the last line of the vamp, you're going to play a lead line, and I like to play it in octaves, but you can just play it with single notes if you'd like. That looks like this. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because it is also the lead line you play at the end of the chorus. Now, this vamp section is where we're going to introduce a new chord that doesn't belong in the key. And you're going to trigger that chord on this note. Now, this chord is actually a minor 4 chord, but since we play the major 4 chord in other parts of the song, we're having you play this chord on this note. So if that's confusing for you, be sure to mark it down in your chord chart. So here's the vamp all together with both hands. So then for the vamp, you'll continue to play that same part 3 times total. Then following the vamp, you'll play that very last line 2 more times during a tag. So just be sure to watch for all of that part in the demo. For the refrain, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and simple chords in the right hand. Now, I like to also embellish those chords by playing some of the melody line in my right hand as well. I do also want to mention that in this section, you're going to introduce another chord that does not belong in the key, and that will be triggered on this note. Now, just like with the minor 4 chord that we're triggering on this note, which is the third of that chord, this chord is a minor 5 chord, so you'll be triggering that on the third of that chord, which is this note. This is only because we do play the major 5 at different parts in the song, actually throughout a lot of the song, so we wanted to give this chord its own trigger note. So the left hand will play this chord progression. Now I'll go ahead and play through a couple sections of the refrain with both hands so you can see how I embellish the chords with my right hand. Moving in to the rest of the refrain, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and simple chords in the right hand. Now the chord progression does slightly change, mainly that you're going to drop this note. You'll go from the 1 straight down to the flat 7, then go to 4 and the minor 4. Then following this section, you're going to start playing a lead line in your right hand, and that sounds like this. You'll play that over the same chords in the left hand. Then for the very last section, you'll increase the song section control to 2/3 and play everything the same way. Here's that last section. Then as you're holding out that last chord, you'll slowly bring the song section control down as you prepare for the next quiet section. Be sure to watch the full demo video to see all these parts in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. Song-specific patches work best in the Sunday Keys template for MainStage and Ableton Live. Sunday Keys gives you all the sounds and tools you need to play live worship keys, and all of our song-specific patches integrate seamlessly with Sunday Keys. You can learn all about Sunday Keys for MainStage and Ableton Live on our website. Thanks for checking out this song-specific patch. I'm Julia with Sunday Sound, and I'll see you next time.